My name is Melissa Clark, and I will be presenting on the Ebola pandemic. What was the Ebola virus disease? What have people thought caused this disease? The Ebola virus disease was known for being a very deadly disease. Outbreaks of this disease primarily occurred on the continent of Africa. The first outbreak of the virus occurred in 1976 when two fatal outbreaks of hemorrhagic fever occurred in different parts of the Central African region. The first outbreak occurred in the Democratic Republic of Congo near the Ebola River, which is the origin of the virus's name. The second outbreak occurred in South Sudan, approximately 500 miles away from the first outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The largest Ebola virus disease outbreak was from 2014 to 2016 in West Africa. This resulted in 28,646 cases and approximately 11,323 deaths, and affected 10 countries in Africa, Europe, and North America. How has this disease been understood? When Ebola virus disease was first discovered, public health officials believed the two outbreaks were caused by the same person traveling to each region. Later, they discovered that it has two different strains of Ebola and the viruses were not related. Of the multiple strains of the disease, only Ebola, Sudan, type 4, and Bundibugyo viruses are known to cause disease in humans. The virus spreads to people initially through direct contact with the blood, bodily fluids, and tissues of animals. From person to person, the disease is transmitted through direct contact with bodily fluids of someone infected with Ebola virus disease. For example, someone spit getting you and then you touching your mouth or something of that sort. Symptoms of Ebola virus disease include fever, aches and pains such as severe headache, weakness and fatigue around the whole body, gastrointestinal symptoms like diarrhea and vomiting, stomach pain, hemorrhaging, bleeding, or bruising. Symptoms of the Ebola virus disease can appear between 2 to 21 days after contact with Ebola, but usually symptoms set in between 8 to 10 days of being in contact with Ebola. No new symptoms have been attributed to this disease since 2016. Has there been any change in the way that this disease has been defined? The answer is no. This disease has not changed in the way it has been defined. The types of symptoms have not changed. The biggest outbreak was between 2014 to 2016, and there has been no known transmission since the end of 2016. How has this disease been treated by the medical community? What treatments have doctors prescribed, and has this changed in any other way over time? Symptoms for Ebola disease were treated as they appear. For example, if someone was sick with any sort of cold, they would treat it the same way they were treating people for Ebola disease because there was no known cure. For example, providing electrolytes to the body through IV, oxygen therapy was also an option. Medication was used to help with blood pressure, reduce vomiting, and diarrhea. There were no known antiviral drugs for this disease. There were some treatments in progress that were available to people who had confirmed Ebola virus disease during the epidemic. According to a study that focused on Ebola in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, mathematical models showed the improvements in behavior control through Ebola outbreaks. This model showed that treatment-seeking Ebola approximately doubled during the outbreak in Liberia. Improving public health education also contributed to better prevention practices and overall decreased Ebola cases. Surveys on knowledge of Ebola in West Africa illustrated that knowledge on the disease was common, as well as preventative behaviors against this disease. How has this disease been understood or viewed within society, and has this changed over time? I know people were afraid of this disease in the United States through personal experience. I was able to live through this disease and watch it on the news as I was growing up. And I remember my parents being scared and my family, but I know at least in the United States, it wasn't very common to get it. Very little people got it. but I was aware that in Africa, this disease was very traumatic and they lost a lot of people. I don't believe the viewpoint of this virus has changed. It caused a lot of serious impact in the African community and on their population. Here's my resources on this disease, and yeah, thank you.